This tutorial will cover using multiple waypoints. To get started, we'll open the navigation console. You can do that by either pressing the default F1 key or the navigation button here in the upper heads-up display on the left side. Once we have the nav map open, the first thing we need to do is just select where we want the first waypoint to be. And to do that, you can just left-click on the map, and that will set the nav point there. And now if we click on the Add New One button here, it'll place the first waypoint at that location we selected. And when a waypoint is set, you'll see a number appear below its icon. And right now the nav point is right on top of it, and I can move it off of that waypoint so you can see the difference between the two indicators. And then to set the nav point back to the first waypoint, we can right-click on the first waypoint's icon, and that'll put the nav marker back on top of it. Now if I click on the Add New button again, you'll see the number 2 now appears at the end of the button. That will indicate that we're placing a second waypoint. So I can just select another location with the nav marker here, and I'll go ahead and click on Add New 2, and that will place a second waypoint here. And again, I can right-click on either waypoint indicator to set the nav point directly to one of those locations. And to set a third waypoint, I'll just go click over here and Add New 3. And the two buttons below the Add New button, the first one is Set Nav, and that will allow me to toggle through each of the waypoints that I've plotted without having to right-click on their icons. So I can just click on that, it'll go back to 1, and then I click on it again, it'll go to 2, and click on it a third time, and it'll go to the third waypoint. So left-click on this button to select a waypoint in increasing increments, and then you can also right-click on the button to select waypoints in decreasing increments. So I can just toggle through them that way. And then the button below that, the delete button, will remove the last waypoint that I have selected. And that would currently be the third, so if I left-click on that, it'll remove the third waypoint, and now I'm just left with the 2 that I set earlier. And I can also optionally right-click on that button, and it'll remove all of the waypoints that we've plotted. And so that clears them all out. So I'm going to go ahead and set 3 waypoints again. I'll do 1, 2, and 3. And now I can fly to the first waypoint by either right-clicking on that waypoint icon, like that, or I can click on the Set Nav button to set it back to the first waypoint automatically that way. That way I can select it either on the map or just through this button here by toggling through them. And then once I've done that, I can click on the autopilot button here or press the key or button that's mapped to it, and that will automatically send us to the first waypoint. I can make this trip, since it's in sector, I can still make the trip much shorter by just pressing the F8 key to jump to that location. And once we arrive, you'll see it automatically toggle to the second waypoint once I get into about 1/5 of the maximum radar range that I have selected now. And it'll automatically switch to the second waypoint. And again, I can speed up that process if I wanted to by pressing the F8 key to engage the jump drive. And once I get close enough to waypoint 2, it'll toggle to waypoint 3. And so that's basically how you can plot a route in space and in the same sector, incidentally, to go to different locations. If you wanted to plot a patrol route or you wanted a search pattern or something, you can use this system to do that. And next we will go over, you can see those waypoints are still there, and here's my location. Next we'll go over setting waypoints through jump gates. And so I'm going to go ahead and clear all of these waypoints that I've set so far. And I'm going to set the nav point to the jump gate here, turn off the autopilot, and then I want to add a waypoint to that location. And this gate's going to take us to the Pisces system. So if I wanted to use this multiple waypoint system to travel through a jump gate to a different system and then travel to another location from that system, I can do that. What I first need to do after setting the waypoint to the first jump gate is click on the quadrant map and then route over to the Pisces system here, and then right click on the Pisces system to bring that up, and then zoom in on that system. And this is the gate that I'm going to come out of from the Pearl system. And so if I wanted to, say, travel next to this planet, I could plot a waypoint by setting the nav point there first and then clicking Add New 2, and that will be my second waypoint. So I can get back to my current location with the center button here if I wanted to, or I could also use the Set Nav button again to just set the nav point back at the first waypoint. But I'm going to go ahead and do center, And I'm going to look at this one here. I'll just right click on that so that I've set my nav point to the first waypoint. And then I can close the nav console. I can line up with where the jump gate's going to be, and that will be at a heading of 0. And then I can do the jump drive, engage that. And once I arrive, I can go ahead and set the autopilot back on. And this will let the computer guide us through this jump point, through the jump gate, and it's automatically going to line me up with the jump gate. So that's a handy feature when you're plotting jump points and waypoints. It'll just automatically route you through the jump gate. And then once it travels through the jump gate and arrives at the next location, it will automatically toggle over to the second waypoint that I mapped next to the planet Pisces and take us there. Okay, and we've arrived in the Pisces system. So as soon as we come out of jump speed, it'll switch over to waypoint 2 automatically. And it'll line us up with that waypoint. And if that waypoint is more than a sector away, it will automatically engage the jump drive force also to make the trip shorter. And it does so all automatically. I can disengage the autopilot at this point also and just slow down next to the second waypoint. Here we are. So that's how you can use the multiple waypoint system to plot routes inside a sector and to different sectors, as well as traveling through jump gates. That's all for this tutorial. Visit the official website at evochron.com or the instructions that included with the game for more information.